God bless everybody out there.
God bless.
I am Mr.Miller, aka Elder Miller, Prophet Miller, Apostle Miller. I'm here with my uncle, Harvey Gibson Jr., Pastor Harvey Gibson Jr.,
Oh yeah.
Bishop-elect
Yeah.
Harvey Gibson
Soon to
Jr.
be, yes.
Soon to be. So we're here. Just wanted to talk to y'all. Come on here, talk. Just have a little bit of realness.
Yeah.
A real conversation about some things. And God is good. And I pray
Yes,
that
He
you,
is.
whoever's watching this, that you share this out. Even though right now it's not live, we're going to upload this.
Yeah.
But when you see it uploaded,
Yeah.
share this out there so it can reach to a lot of men. A lot of men. Women too, but mainly the main focus is to the brethren with this conversation right here. So we arrived here today. How you doing, huh?
How you
Good?
doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm
How
good.
you doing? This is a beautiful day out here today.
Yeah.
I'm glad to feel the warmth.
Yeah.
Seem like we've been in spring a little bit too long, and now it feels like the summer's beginning to roll in.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Now, in a couple of months, I'm going to be talking about where's the fall at.
Where's the fall at? Yeah. Especially once that sun starts scorching too long, you be ready to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
oh,
you know,
yeah.
we're here on this beautiful day out here,
Yeah.
and just to talk about some real things, especially things of us as men as we go through,
Yeah.
things we deal with, how we deal with things. So let me just ask you this question. How did we arrive here in this moment right now? Why are we here? Why are we about to have this conversation?
So originally, this conversation originates or begins from previous conversations and things that have taken place at Beyond the Walls Outreach Ministries. And so we are in the month of June, and June is Father's Day. And so right now, if you go to our ministry webpage, you'll see that we're honoring the fathers this month. And so also, last month we did a diabetes screening.
Okay.
And so this month, we are teaming with the Trenton Health team to do blood screenings for prostate cancer for men. And so it resonated very well with me with us doing this because I am a prostate cancer survivor.
Wow.
And so a lot of people not aware of that, didn't know that. I'm not ashamed or bashful to share that information with anyone because that kind of information is very important. It's very important that, to let people know that, hey, you can survive cancer. You can be victorious over cancer. And so my journey was a weird kind of journey, Jay. I remember, so every year I go for a physical, have primary doctor. And that's another thing as men, we have to learn how to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor to get typical blood work done because your blood work reveals to your doctor what's really going on inside of your body. And so this one particular time when I went to have my blood work done, he got the results. He looked at the results and he said to me, Harvey, your PSA numbers are very, very high. He said, I'm going to send you to one of our urologists. And so I went to urologist. They checked me out and they discovered that I had cancer on my prostate. And so it wasn't that moment when they told me where it was at. It was how they revealed the information to me. So I know as a pastor, as a representative of Christ, empathy and compassion are very, very important.
Yes.
You got to be empathetic, and you also got to show some compassion. Well, in my case, I'm at work, I'm at my desk, I get a phone call, and it's my urologist, And so he says to me, he says, "Hello, Mr. Gibson?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "This is Dr. So-and-so." I said, "Okay." He says, "Looked at your results. You got cancer."
Wow.
And he was straightforward and blunt about it.
No hesitation.
Wasn't no hesitation, but Jay, in that moment, it hit me like an uppercut, like bam.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting to hear that, and I wasn't expecting to hear the word cancer. Right? None of us want to hear the word cancer.
Yeah.
When we go to the doctor, that's the reason why many of us don't go to the doctor, because of that word, cancer. And so when I heard it, my boss was standing next to me, and he saw the look on my face, and my eyes began to well up with water. And so he looked at me, he said, "You can go home." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, tell me tomorrow, but you can go home." So I thank God for that. But on the way home, oh man, I was really broke. I was crying. I got home, had to tell my wife, "Hey, doctor got these results. He's talking about I got cancer." And so my wife, being the strong woman that she is, she looked at me, she said, "Babe, we got this.
Wow.
We got this. We got this. You're gonna go through this, you're gonna be victorious on the other side of this. You got this." And so going back to the doctor, the blessing for me was the fact that the cancer that I had was dead center on my prostate. And so one of the things that the doctor let me know was that inside of our bodies, our organs are in very close proximity to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So if any one of those organs has cancer on it, or cancer in it, or just cancer, there is a high chance for that cancer to spread to the other organs very quickly. Which means that you, as an individual, you can't be slow about getting the cancer addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Be it through chemotherapy, be it through removal, whatever the case may be, whatever your options are. And that was the other thing for me. It was the early detection. It was the early detection saying, and my doctor said, "You got options." And so he laid the options out for me. And so me and my wife, we reviewed the options. And then I selected the option that was best for me. And by the grace of God, no cancer. No cancer. I had my prostate removed. And so for me it was out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Now, in hindsight, I'm thinking maybe I should have went with the chemotherapy. I'll tell you why. Because a man's prostate is a multifunctional organ. So it controls your libido, but it also controls your body's temperature. So if you don't have a prostate, when your body gets hot, it gets hot.
It gets real hot. Okay.
When you get cold, you are real cold. And so it's dealing with that. I can be outside doing something normal, and the sweat just pouring off my head like I've been outside all day and I've only been outside for 5 minutes.
Now, you know something, hearing that, right? What I want to understand is, you gave us, the scenario,
Mm-hmm.
what you went through, what happened, but how did you navigate through the beginning process all the way through mentally?
For me, it was kind of like, and I'm going to say this is going to sound crazy. It may sound crazy, but it's not. It was almost like having a come to Jesus moment. It really made me begin to really look at my life, reflect on what I had been doing, and I kept saying, and my prayer to God was, God, you know, there's a lot in me. There's a lot. You put purpose inside of me. There is purpose that is yet to be completed.
Yeah.
And I want to finish the job. And so, one thing I did after I found out that I had the prostate cancer was I started contacting my male relatives, my brothers, my cousins. First of all, letting them know. But then to only discover that some of them had it. And so that's when I realized that we have to begin to share those things that, although they may be uncomfortable for us, because knowledge is power, information is power. Had my brothers or uncles or whoever, when they were dealing with it, shared the information with me, I would have possibly made some adjustments. Maybe some adjustments in my eating habits, maybe some adjustments in my lifestyle. But whatever the case was, to find out that other male members in my family had it, that was shocking to me. That was very shocking to me.
But you know what?
Because I said to one of my family members, I said, how come you didn't say anything? How come you didn't tell us? How come you didn't say that this was what you were going through? And I get it. There's some things that we just don't,
Men don't want to share.
Yeah.
Because sometimes sharing to us,
yeah,
it feels like kryptonite.
And it feels like we don't want to
admit to it.
Or we don't want to see vulnerable.
Yes, vulnerable. And you know something, I'm going to tell you, talking about it though, and a lot of times even talking about it, let's say that if you're talking about you sharing it with people, with some individuals, it can heighten the fear of it. It can, because I really want, even though I know this thing is reality right now in my life, I don't want to even kind of acknowledge it any other type of way, because I really don't even want this to exist. So I'd rather throw it under the rug and not talk about this thing.
So that goes back to the older generation that always had the mindset
Sweep it under the rug.
If it's not broke,
it
don't need to be fixed.
Yeah.
It don't need to be touched. It don't need to be looked at.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask questions about it. I don't need to respond to it. But that's, in some cases, in a lot of cases, that's a bad way to be. But that's the reality.
Because I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Pastor Gibson. I have white coat syndrome.
Wow.
Like I really do. Like so, if I go into the doctor's room and they come in there with that white coat, it can be a blue coat, red coat. It don't matter what color it is. It's just something that, I'll get very anxious. I'm not comfortable in that space, and in my mind, I can't wait until this is over with. So I'm not one of them people. I know people, they'll go to the doctors off of a sneeze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Constantly, like me, I would go to the doctors, but that's not a trip that I enjoy. It's not something that I feel comfortable. Like if I'm in that room, I'm on edge the whole time. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Can I be honest with you? I laugh at what you said, the white coat syndrome, but that's a reality. Because many of us have gone through that syndrome, or are going through that syndrome, the fear of the white coat. The fear of the white coat and the stethoscope.
Yeah, that whole...
Like when that presence walks into the room, because you know what? In that moment, when you see that image, in your mind is telling you it's serious.
Yes.
It's serious. And so we don't want to get to the serious point, because then our mind will switch over to the mortality part. And we don't want to talk about the mortality part. But when we are confronted with the white coat syndrome, the mortality part really is a part of that, but we don't want to go there.
You know how many men sign themselves out the hospital? No, I'm just saying though.
I believe.
Like for real, do you know how many men will go to a doctor's appointment and be sitting there like this, and then be like, you know what, I'm out of here.
I'm out. Because here's the thing, if I've built up enough courage to go, when I get there, you need to see me as soon as I hit the door.
Yeah.
Don't have me
Just
sitting
there waiting forever. You know what I'm saying? Like come on. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Let's
All
get
this
this
extra
over
waiting and
yes.
stuff. Because the more I wait, the more I'm thinking about, all right, well, we'll just reschedule this appointment for the next time.
So let's hold that point right there, because you just heard my nephew, Apostle Miller, say, the more I wait, let's get to it. And that's the thing. We don't want you brothers to wait. We don't want you to be sitting around, we don't want you to wait. We want you to get up, go get a physical, go get checked out. You heard us laugh and joke about the white coat syndrome, but the white coat syndrome is serious. I know that many of us are scared to go to the doctors. Many of us don't like the doctors, but we have to take some responsibility into why we don't like the doctors. Is it simply because we know that we haven't taken care of ourselves? Is it simply because we know that when we get there, the news may not be the good news that we want to hear? If you want to hear the good news, then you're going to have to be able to do some good things for yourself and to yourself. And so this is one of those good things. So on June the 13th, on Friday, at Beyond the Walls Outreach Ministries, 100 Humboldt Street, Men's Health matters. And so we are teaming up with the Trenton Health Team, and we are doing, they are conducting blood screenings, free blood screenings for prostate cancer checking. And so we encourage you to come to 100 Humboldt Street. A light lunch will be served. The hours will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We want you to come and get the screening. The information won't be broadcasted. It will be done confidentially, so it'll be between you and the nurses that will be there. And so we invite you, we encourage you, men, we want you to be around. We want you to see your legacy come forth. We want you to see your legacy grow. We want you to have a better quality of life. And so a better quality of life begins with how you treat yourself. And so if you want a better quality of life, you got to begin to treat yourself better. And so let this be the start. Let this be the start. And don't let this be the last time going to get checked, to get yourself checked out. Do an annual thing. I tell you, when I got married to my wife, it was funny. She just got me into this annual system. Like every year we going to the dentist. Every year we going to get checked up. We're going to get checked up at a doctor. And I tell you, it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing. And I thank God for it. So that's another thing, man. Look, we got grandkids, we got sons, we got daughters, we got nieces, we got nephews, we got brothers, we got uncles. Look, we want to spend the good times with them. But in order to spend the good times with them, we got to be around. And so in order to be around, we need to get checked out and checked up.
And it's other things too. Even going to get checked up, it's another thing we got to do. Start eating better, you know what I mean? Start taking care of our health, going for walks. If you can't run, start walking. Then you can walk and get to jogging. Next thing you know, you jogging, you running. You know what I mean? So these things, I think, especially those in the body of Christ or out of the body of Christ, we can be as spiritual if we want. Yeah. But if we're super spiritual, but super unhealthy, it's that. Where does that get us? You know what I mean? So we can have all of these promises over us and things we want to do, but if we're not really actually taking care and putting the right things in our body and understanding our body, even understanding our blood type, what's best for our blood. You know what I mean? Those different type of things. So, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm here and I'm doing the interview with Pastor Gibson here, but I feel just like you. Do I want to go do this screening thing? Am I thinking about showing up? Do I want, like, come on, I'm not
Let's
running,
be real.
I'm gonna
Let's
be real
be
with you,
real.
like, yo,
Let's
I'm gonna
Let's
do
be
it,
real.
but it's not something that I want to do.
Right. It's not on your top.
It's
priority.
not on my top priority.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand, you know, but like, I'm just encouraging you. At the end of the day, we do got to take better care of ourselves, and we got to get stuff before it's too late.
Look, God is giving you life, and life should be a priority. God is giving you life, and life should be a priority. And so, what I mean by saying that is, we all as men, we need to do all those things. We need to do those things that help us to be not only in the right fellowship and relationship with God, but to be around for our loved ones. Because we have loved ones that are counting on us. We have loved ones that are looking up to us. We have loved ones that are depending on us. And so they are depending on us to be around, to be here. You know, I heard you say, you talk about doing little things like walking and jogging. So, you know, I've been athletic since junior high school. So sports, even now, at the time when I got the prostate cancer, I was running for Black Men Run, running group out of worldwide, actually, the worldwide. So I was preparing for half marathon at the time when I got the news. But I tell you, all of the running that I was doing at that time conditioned my body in such a way that when it was time for me to go into surgery, I had to get down to a certain weight. And so at the time, when I found out, when they let me know that I had the cancer, I was 215. At the time of the surgery, I was down to 183. And so by shedding the weight, the surgery was a success. Recovery was a success. I can share this with you because they call it a laparoscopy, where they go and they make incisions in your abdomen, and they go inside. They go inside with the laser, and they remove my prostate that way. It took my body, and I'll be honest with everyone, it took my body about a year to heal. A year to heal. Like within 90 days, 45 days actually, because I had to take off from work. I went on 45-day disability. But after the 45 days, and I was walking, these doctors don't play with you anymore.
They get you a walking immediately.
Yeah. I walked out after the procedure, after I came out of ICU and into the recovery room. Please, I was out of there before the end of the day. Went back home, but I was very sore. But the next 45 days was me spent getting up every day and taking a slow walk around my neighborhood, and I would do that every day, and that helped to help me to keep my strength, but it also helped in my recovery and my healing. And so it was about a good year. I can honestly say it took a full year for me not to feel, because sometimes when you have any type of surgery internally, it takes your body internally a while to heal. It's not an overnight thing. And so it took my body a good year. I can honestly say a good year to heal.
Like for it to feel like it was
nothing going on. Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you this question, right? So you get the news, you get the surgery, you go through the healing process, right? So years have passed now. So what have you been doing for your body after surviving it, after getting rid of it?
Okay, so
because like if somebody can live how you're living now, they don't have it now. If they was to do what you're doing now, how would that benefit them?
The first thing I would say to anyone that's listening to this video is, and you already said it, you need to check your diet. you need to start looking at what you're eating, how you're eating, the amount you're eating, because you are what you eat. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. And so you have to begin to, for me, so I was a big red meat eater. I was always eating steak and burgers, just, packing on, piling on. No. I went from a typical 10-inch dinner plate. Me and my wife now, we 8 inches. That 2-inch difference in size of plate makes a big difference. 2 inches on your body is equivalent to 25 pounds. Think about that. 2 inches is equivalent to 25 pounds. Another thing I've done is I've been drinking a lot of juice, eating a lot of pineapples, eating a lot of fruits, a lot of melons, eating a lot of greens, eating a lot of rice. I still have a burger, I still have some roast, I still have a steak, but it's not frequent. Most of the time when I'm eating any type of meat, it's typically chicken or fish. Eat a lot of rice. For me, exercise, I try to go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'm regimented that way. Get my workout in. It's not just all lifting weights. It's a combination of functional training. It's a combination of cardio. I got a bike. People have seen me out biking. I'm riding. So I'm not staying still. Look, movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. You've got to move. A lot of us are not aware that God has put endorphins inside of our body. Those endorphins, the responsibility of those endorphins are to heal the injuries that are within our body. But they don't get released until we move. So if you're sitting home and you're just being sedentary and you're not moving, those endorphins are not getting released. And so when you move, things begin to happen. When you move, things begin to change. And so last year, I got on the scale and I was 227. And I asked God to help me, because I was really struggling. I really wanted to get under 200 pounds. I had been struggling for a while to get under, going to the gym, doing everything, but I'm struggling to get under 200 pounds. I got under 200 pounds after this 1 week where I decided I was just going to strictly eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. I ate chicken, broccoli, and rice for 7 days. That's all I had. I had it for lunch, I had it for dinner. And on top of that, I did cardio at the gym. By doing that, I was able to shed off those 17 pounds.
In how long?
Like 10 days.
10 days.
In 10 days. But that was God.
Yeah.
That was God. Because for some people, it may take a month just to get a pound off.
Yeah.
And so it felt different. Like when I say it felt different, like I've dropped weight before, but not like this.
Yeah.
And so now I'm down to 192. Right now I'm sitting at 192 and I feel good.
192 feel good.
I feel good. I feel good. I'm going to be real with you. I didn't feel like I was going to make it if I would have stayed at 217. Like I really felt like I was going down for the count. That's mentally in my head. I felt like I'm not making it here. Am I dying? That was the thought process that was going in my head. And
Let
so
me take off the unnecessary weight.
Lay aside every weight that so easily besets
you. Yeah.
Lay
That's
aside
good.
every weight, everything that's a struggle, everything that's an obstacle. Lay aside those things that so easily beset you. Lay aside those things that keeps you from progressing, from moving forward. Lay aside those things. Sometimes that's really the problem, that we don't realize how and I'm going to be careful with this word, we don't realize how addicted we are to certain things.
Yeah.
There are things that we are addicted to, that we are attached to, that it really takes the power of God to break that bond, to break it. Because if God doesn't break it,
It ain't gonna be broke.
it's not going to be broke. Yeah.
So, I just want to say this, far as for you to mention, like, do you take any vitamins or any, nutritional things that you take outside of changing your diet that helps?
So that was the other thing. I do a lot of vitamin supplementation. So for men, vitamin D, zinc, arginine, arginine, arginine. Arginine, I take that for my blood vessels, to keep my blood vessels open. Arginine is also good for your heart. I take vitamin B12. I also take a multivitamin. Now I'm currently on, the funniest thing, I'm currently taking, so for someone who's been so athletic, I ran track, I played football in high school, I played football in college, I've run half marathons, 5Ks, 8Ks, 10Ks. In the early 90s, I did competitive bodybuilding. For someone who's been so athletic, I have blood pressure issues. And it was strange how I got the blood pressure issues, because when it was detected, I was out running. And so through one of my physicals, my doctor kept saying, your blood pressure is not dropping. It's not dropping. And so at the time, my blood pressure was like 146 over 80, 146 over 90. I mean, it was, as far as my doctor was concerned, it was high. Mm-hmm. And so he put me on blood pressure medicine. It wasn't anything very strong. So I'm taking like 2 pills. One is called irbesartan, and it's my primary blood pressure medicine. I take 1 pill a day and go about my business. But now, believe it or not, I feel like I don't need it.
Yeah.
I really feel like I don't need it. There's been, like I'm supposed to take it every day. There's been maybe some times where I missed a day, but I didn't feel like
You missed, yeah.
Yeah. So taking care of yourself is very important. Yeah. So supplementation, I try to take in protein. If you're going to the gym and you're going to work out, you need to take in protein. You need to take in protein at least 30 minutes before you go to the gym. One of the things that I find that people complain about, they always say that, well, I'm very sore, or I don't have enough energy. And my question is, how did you fuel your body? What did you put in your body before you went to the gym? Because it's like well, I filled the car up with gas, but now I'm on E, but I still want the car to start up. It don't work like that.
So are you saying, like, so you should eat, so say if you eat at 12 o'clock,
So
when should you work out?
if I eat at 12, you should be working out. You should be working out like around 1.
Okay, give about an hour.
Yeah.
Before you work. Okay.
Yeah. We don't understand the importance of fueling the body. And that's another thing too. So when I'm talking about fueling the body, you have to take in carbohydrates. There's 2 types of carbohydrates. There's simple carbohydrates and there's fast carbohydrates. An example of a fast carbohydrate would be something like a Mountain Dew soda. Now, a Mountain Dew soda has 65 grams of carbohydrates in it. That's a lot. When I was running 5Ks, Before the race, I would take in 150 grams of carbohydrates, but it would be simple carbs. So it would be based around oatmeal, bananas, potatoes. I would have a yam. I had all those things before the race. So now I fueled my body for this race, because during the race, I'm going to burn those carbs right off. But by the time I've completely burned those carbs right off, the race is over. There's been some races where I've had carbohydrates in my pocket. So they sell, you go to Walmart or any sporting goods store, they sell fast-acting simple carbohydrates in the form of fruit chews. And while you're running or while you're working out, you just pop them, and you can feel them kick in. You can feel you. It's like your energy reserves.
Yeah, like go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason why I ask those questions, because you might have some people, that's going through different things or at different levels of stuff and just want to know. But I want everybody to really take this matter serious.
Yeah.
But not trying to create any fear or anything like that. But just listen, we got to check our bodies out. A car needs to be oiled, change. You know what I mean? You got to change the timing belt at times, different things. But one thing that we really want to, pay attention to is preventative care.
Yeah.
So all of this is something that could possibly prevent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the best way to describe it, preventative care. And that's really the purpose of working out, is preventative care. It's not to say that the body is not going to get worn out, or eventually your body is going to get worn out. Eventually in life, your body is going to break down in certain areas. But for the most part, you want to have a good quality of life. And so we want to go through life enjoying life. And so if we take care of these bodies will take care of us.
That's good. Well, any last statements that you want to make? If you only had a couple minutes, this was the last thing, but the whole world is listening to you right now. What would be that final thing that you would say?
Based on our conversation today, I love God's people, and I love people in general, and I want to see people get and obtain the best things out of life, get the things that God has promised His people. And so God has promised us that we could have an abundant life. And so part of that, having the abundant life, there's a part that we play in that. And so I want to speak to the part that we play in that if we do our part, we don't have to worry about God doing His part. God has already done His part. So the onus now is on us. So if you want to have a good quality life, do those things. Do those things that allow you to have a good quality of life. I tell you, the best decision that I ever made was turning my life over to the Lord. The best decision I ever made was getting saved. The best part of my life now is serving God and serving His people, and serving the kingdom of God with joy. Serving the kingdom of God, knowing that my purpose is being fulfilled in this earth. So I want you to be able to fulfill the purpose that God has destined for you in your life. And so in order for that to happen, you got to do your part. So for those that are listening, it's time for you to do your part. But I'm doing my part today by sharing with you the information. This is good news. This is good news to keep you around.
On our way out of here. Until the next time, God bless you all.
Peace.
Hope to see you at this event.